I gotta bring this up. We are live. We are live. Live and ready to go. Okay. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. You caught this part of the show. This is the pre-show of Pete's Tech Den. We're starting here in a few minutes. If there's anybody out there, if they can just give a shout out and let me know where the audio level is correct. And we're live. Sorry for the little bit of a delay. I figured it would block that, but we're kind of interested to come back later and see where it's been. It's kind of nice being able to see the statistics here about what is this thing actually doing. Yeah, we got about 10 minutes. 10 minutes till start. 10 minutes till go. if you're just watching me, just reading about I was looking at my cell carrier, which actually I talked about. I don't remember what episode. What episode was that? I should know this. It's a few episodes ago. Oh, there it is. Yes, episode 10. With Republic Wireless. They just sent out a report on things they've been working on, and so I was looking at some of the larger scope items that they put on there. So and some of the items, although they do say due to the complex nature of these items, no official timing is set, nor is delivery guaranteed. But they're being worked on regularly, and some of them look pretty cool, like being able to do web-based calling, making, receiving calls and texts from a browser. Also, Lollipop, the new Android. That would be awesome. I would love that. Also, email prior to billing notification. That would be nice. It'd be nice just to know. Okay, that money's coming out. No, check that off. Chink. Also, looks like there's some kind of data saver functionality. Pretty cool things. We are still looking for our first viewer. Time is it? Almost time to start. Almost there. We have 1 minute to launch. And then we'll get rocking and rolling here in a minute. Just about time. His turn. I believe it is 8:30 now. Which means that it is time to start. Welcome to Pete's Tech Den, show number 14. Got to turn one light on. This is the podcast where we talk about ways to take what other people see as trash and turn it into treasure. And in general, we just talk about how to do tech in a cheap way, saving money, lots and lots of money. And also, we touch on some ethical issues. As if you've been following the show, we've had some pretty good discussions, especially having Colton on. Always great to have him. It seems like when we have him on, we get a few extra views, so it's always good. Always a good discussion. Yeah, really have some good discussions with him. But yeah, so tonight we're gonna go with a smorgasbord, as the title suggests. Just talking out some things kind of on my mind, things I've been thinking about. First up, was this guy. There. Yep. This is a smartwatch. Picked this guy up. Decided. I always thought it was kind of interesting to have a smartwatch, and kind of intrigued me. I wasn't really sure whether I was quite ready to drop the like $200 to $300 on a smartwatch. So instead, I went on to eBay and picked up this guy for $35. Cheap. It'll interface with both Android and iOS, although you don't get all the functionality of it with iOS. You get more functionality with Android, which is the phone I have. So I went and picked up this. I got it about a week ago now, so I've been using it, and kind of interesting. Actually kind of enjoying it. I kind of I don't know. I didn't know what to expect. Whether because cheap, cheap Android, cheap watch. So you kind of like, am I going to get what I paid for? That kind of a thing where it's like. But I gave it a shot. One thing I wasn't sure about was I'm generally I usually like cloth. I usually like to go with the cloth and Velcro watch bands when I bought, traditional watches, which my last one died, which is why I bought this guy. So I wasn't sure how I was gonna feel with the plastic kind of rubber band. Um, but I was really pleasantly surprised with this guy, because I mean, for a cheap watch, this band is nice. It is super soft. Um, so it's been really comfortable. I have not regretted the rubber band. And no, not those tan things uh, that you use to hold things together. Just a band made out of rubber. I think it's rubber. I don't know. It feels super, like, for plastic, fairly soft. So yeah, I've really liked the band on it. Um, but yeah, so it doesn't have a whole lot of features. You can see there's basically 4 watch faces. There's 2 digital and 2 analog. Uh, I like digital, and you'll notice I use Zulu time. That's another discussion. Okay. But you just hit. You basically have this. You have like a basically a select button, and then a back button, and marked as a volume button, but is also kind of a miscellaneous button. And then, of course, you've got the power button on this side, and then a USB charging port, micro USB on the side, and then you got your speaker. I don't know if you can. Yeah, there you go. Speaker and then mic. Yeah, you can. You can make a phone call on this. That's pretty cool. Um, but yeah, you basically have. Let's see. Come on. You basically have several screens. Um, they look kind of like that. But you've got your Bluetooth menu, so you can connect to your watch. You can look at your phone book. It's kind of interesting trying to scroll through your phone book to get to somebody. It's not particularly. You can pull up a dialer, which puts basically a dialing pad on your screen. You can dial somebody. I have not used that. And then you can see your messages kind of in a old school. There you can see. Can't really see, but it says inbox, sent messages, and then kind of your old school what text messaging used to look like. So a little outdated, but it does the job. It's not perfect. I guess probably the thing I've gotten to the point where I'm probably most disappointed with it is actually with text messaging, and that, like, it has the mic on it. It's got the mic there. Um, but there's no way you can't respond to a text message on your phone, on the watch, unless there's something that I have not found. You can call the sender, you can delete it, or you can look at the details. That's it. There's nothing more. And it's kind of disappointing to me. It's like you can look at you can look at your sent messages, but that's it. It's got messaging. You can look at your call log if you can get it. It doesn't always work. Oh, there, finally. Yeah, tell it to connect. So you can look at your call log. You control your music, which I think you have to. Be interesting. Cause it's kind of funny. Okay, so this is what the screen shows. So yeah, it says Mash there at the top. So I was watching. I don't know where that would work. Because, previous episode, I think back early on, I talked about Myth TV and um, Cody and the remote app on my phone. I don't know if that, where that play pause, um, to actually use that to where the watch become an extension of the phone remote. I felt like if it did, that would be like awesome. Cause I mean, I don't use the remote a whole lot. I mean, the best thing I like about the remote is the notifications from the phone going up on the TV. But to be able to, it just goes, the screen goes away. You have that on your wrist, and you just pause. Or, that would be really nice to be able to just boom, do it. I will have to try and see if that works. I'm really interested now. You can also interface with your camera, although you have to have your camera open on your phone before you use this. Otherwise, it'll fail. But you basically get a button, or you can take the picture from your phone, from your watch, by pressing the button on your watch, and it'll take it on your phone. Let me just. I haven't done it yet because I haven't had really a reason to, I guess. Let's see. Oh, I gotta switch here. I guess I could take like a. It's like one way is, there we go. So yes up. Camera, and I say I want my front one. Okay, they obviously think front is different. Okay, there, it's working now. So then I can just go. Basically shows a little button like this. What's that? That's how you do it. You don't press that. That doesn't do anything. You hit the select button. Okay, that's kind of interesting. So I guess you could say well, it says I captured those pictures, but now the question becomes, where are they? Let's see if I can find them. I guess you could say I took a selfie, I guess. But yeah, so you got the camera, music, you got your settings, where you can set language, face, clock type, menu. You can set some alarms. Status, or you can set basically status. You can do. Oh, there it is. And there was a notification. It's kind of like that. It's from Google Plus. But you can, I'll get to that later. You can set your LCD backlight. And you click About Watch. It just tells you. Huh. That's kind of interesting. Tells you when the watch was built. Like down to the minute. According to this watch was, well, maybe this is in the build. I don't know. It says November 21st, 2014 at 14:24. I have no idea. Then you can say whether you want to do power save. You can set your, your ringtone for the actual watch. That's the kind of interesting thing is that this thing vibrates in my hand. The um the volume control with the watch and uh the phone. Let's see if I can they're two different volume controls, which is kind of interesting. As you can do several different. No idea. So I actually got to the point because I had my watch set on vibration, um, to where I've just turned the vibration off on my phone because it's like pointless. I even got to the point where it's like I just turned my ringtone off on my phone. Because it's just like if I don't notice it ringing on my watch, which is on my wrist, like I'm not gonna notice my phone. which I find that really nice. Like that's one thing I like is like you almost go silent almost because you're picking up everything in your watch. And he said it to vibrating. You know, you're gonna feel something vibrating on your wrist. you know, um, so that was ringtone. So power saver ringtone. It also has an anti-lost feature, which you can set for anti-lost for a phone. So you can enable it, and then you set a distance, which is either far, mid, or near. I've gone to the far. I feel like it's not terribly far, but it's enough to be so I can move around my apartment without it getting after me. Um, that's kind of nice. Um, and then it's got a barometer, or at least it says there's an app called Barometer, an app called Altimeter, and Pedometer. Not pedometer. What am I thinking? Pedometer. But I will tell you that the pedometer is inaccurate. it's worthless. I was literally laying on the couch and I turned it on, and tonight I was testing it. I just waved my arm around like this, and I took 30 steps. Needs some work. The altimeter. I feel like could use some work because it fluctuates. Just sitting here, like a foot worth of fluctuation. Oh no, 2 feet. It's gone from everything from 3 to 5. So I'm not quite sure how. I don't think any of these things are accurate. I find it hilarious that you put on the barometer, and it says the pressure is 978 and the temperature is 31.4 Fahrenheit degrees Fahrenheit, which is definitely warmer. I mean, I'm wearing short sleeves. It is warmer than 31 and a half, 31.4 degrees. I feel like that's pretty much inaccurate. And then you've got a menu style, clock style, time and date. You're just setting it. It doesn't know time zones exist at all. Um, and then another kind of cool feature is got a find phone, which actually I want to try something because right now I've got the volume turned off on my phone. And basically the whole find phone feature is basically hit this play button and the phone plays this sound where it says, I am here. I am here. I'm here. No, it doesn't make those actions. Sorry. Which is nice. I've got the volume turned off on my phone and it still overrides it. And you find it. So thankfully, I'll never again have one of those moments where I can't find my phone. Because it automatically plays it. But yeah, that's basically it with the watch. Oh, the other thing was originally I didn't think. Originally, I thought it just told me when I missed a call, but now I think there was one time where it didn't come through, and I was like, "Oh, bummer." But I think it was because I didn't have it paired up, because you have to like pair the watch twice or something. That's one other downside to it, but it the calls do come through to the watch, and then you can say, I think what else? There's basically pick up, hang up. What's the third? I forget what the third option is. I forget what the other one is. But yeah, but yeah, it's basically the watch. Like I said, the important part of it is battery. Usually lasts between a day and a half. But I found that I really enjoy being able to just have the watch on and just look down and see what's going on. Um, yeah, so that's that. I feel like there was something. Oh, I see. Because you have to put an app on your phone, and the app is what gives it some of the functions, like uh, pushing notifications, and you can tell like what notifications. I will say when I got the app on my phone, uh, it's a little bit sketchy getting it. Like, they send you to this like IP address via FTP and give you like a username password to get in to get the package to install the app. But I did have my antivirus scanner and it was clear, so and it hasn't destroyed my phone yet, so but yeah, looks sort of like this. Nothing super fancy. You can open up a side menu. I love how it shows all these things on there that the watch doesn't do. It doesn't track anything about sleep or heart rate. Um, your settings are user information, change password, and sport goal. Uh, some of the stuff that like to sync the data, you have to like create an account. I don't have one. You can't look at your history. So basically, the three most important things in here. Actually, there's just two. One, two. This third button that says customized basically allows you to give you different name to your smartwatch. Which I just left mine. Smartwatch. It is kind of nice though. If you hit it, you can tell where the app is communicating with the watch. Because it kind of buzzes. Goes beep, and you know that the app is talking to the watch. And then you got your basic settings where you can say this is basically push in your text messages, your calls. You can tell close the media audio. Allows you to close media audio for saving power. And then you can say always send notifications, push notifications always, or screen locked only. So basically, you can say check and you say just send it always, or you can say uncheck it and you say just send one. Just send the notifications when the phone is locked. I might actually change that. And then this one, of course, the all important push set, and it basically you have to okay the app and the accessibility settings, because that's how you get the app notifications to it. And you have to you have to check the box, put the check next to the notification service, and then you say select which apps you want notified, and it basically gives you a big list of either personal apps or system apps. And then you can select an app to block. But that's basically the app is how the notifications get to the watch. So no notifications, no app, no notifications. I feel like this would not work very well with the iOS. Wow, I did not expect to spend this much time on a smartwatch. But yeah, the mic isn't the greatest. The speaker is not very good either. But you actually can't make a phone call on it. And you have to remember that you have it hooked on Bluetooth. Otherwise, you'll put your phone up to your ear and try to talk. And your arm will be down at your side. And they won't hear you. And you won't hear them. No problem. It takes a little bit getting used to, especially when you haven't had a watch before. But yeah. So I mean, overall, for $35, I'd say I'm happy. It's not perfect by any means, but for $35, I'm not sure I really expected it to be. It's kind of like I feel like I got a little bit more than what I paid for. So, I'm happy. Okay. But so that was the watch. A watch I picked up cheap. Yeah, they will talk the buyer down $3 to get it for 35 instead of 38. But yeah, so pretty interesting. It's my first foray into the wearables market. But yeah, so I've been happy with it. But yeah, so I think we're just going to try to cover the second topic. Let's talk about cameras, and I've had a little bit of experience. As I spent, well, I mean, I started off, a lot of my picture taking kind of goes back to camp, which is what I worked at for, I mean, a good portion of the time through high school. I think sophomore, junior, senior. What would it be more than that? Basically 5, It's been before high school. Yeah, it would have been. It would have been like freshman year ish or summer. It was started with summer. But I started off um, with a camera I paid $100 for. Um, and uh, yeah, that was a Nikon Coolpix L4. I went from there to an L15, and then to a Canon PowerShot A1200, and then now to my current camera, which is a Sony Alpha A58, first DSLR. But kind of on the cheap side to it. I feel like like there's a lot of times where you almost don't expect to get high quality, great pictures with your little point and shoot cameras. And like it kind of goes back to this whole idea of like maximizing. We talked about on that one show a few shows ago. I talked about not having the money, but being able to take what you have and maximize it. And in some ways, I feel like y- like those. I mean, I had little cameras. I mean, my first camera, didn't it had video, but it had no sound. Second camera, I got sound. I'm like, oh my goodness, good. And then I think the next one, I was the first one I was able to shoot HD. So, and then now I've got one that shoots full HD and stereo audio, and it's a DSLR. But interesting. Um, but yeah, I think you can. I mean, you can really push. I do all kinds of crazy things. Like I feel like there's more to like. There's so much to like photography and stuff, and just in knowing how to, you know, what angle to take the shots, and like learning those things, which allow you to like take and maximize what you do. And they're so great because they're like, I mean, they're cheap. I mean, you can find some great deals, especially if you're willing to buy a model that's like not the newest one, but the older one. I mean, it's a great way to save on anything. I mean, is to not buy the great latest and greatest. And there's some of those things where it's kind of like, well, yeah, I need to, um, particularly as recently, I had to purchase a modem. But even though I had to purchase a modem, I went on eBay and found um, somebody who was selling one. I used one. It uses another good way to go out and get some stuff. Uh, but yeah, that's gonna be really cool. Side note, because this is the last week with CenturyLink and 25 megabit download and about 1 megabit upload. Next week, we'll be doing it on Cox with we're going to be having 100 megabit download speeds and 10 megabit upload, so 10 times the upload. So the video audio, it should be a lot better next time on the live stream. So that'll be awesome. That was just a little side note. But yeah, the whole thing with like buying not the latest was when I bought my Nikon Coolpix L15. Um, they already had the L16 and like the L18 out. And went to Walmart, and uh they had the L16 for $100. Um, but they were out of stock. So we decided to go across the street to the store called Meyer. You may or may not know it. Um, it's kind of like a Walmart-ish. It's that kind of store. I mean, it's got food, grocery, normal kind of like a Walmart. So we ran across the road to them, and we were looking, and they didn't see any. We asked them to check below the counter. Well, we happened upon this box. It's an Icon, the L15. It was an L15, right? There was a price on it. Like, hey, like, how much does this cost? And so the clerk took it, went back to see how much it cost my dad, and rang it up $35. I mean, getting a digital camera for $35. I mean, that's just a steal. Um, and so yes, I bought it. I bought it a week after I killed my L4 by jumping in a lake. And in case you were wondering, water and electronics don't mix. Do not mix at all. Um, but yeah, so it was like it was like a few days after I got back from camp and breaking my camera. Um, but yeah, so I was started off taking pictures at camp. I take like 300 pictures in a week. Now that's like minimum. Like if I can get a minimum of that. Um, but then worked at this other camp, Timberlake Ranch Camp, out in central Nebraska, and I was media coordinator out there for 3 summers. And so I took a lot of pictures. And some of the big weeks, what I found is when I go back and look at the count of pictures and video that I took, um, each week, like as you went through the summer, like the further you got through the summer, the less pictures I took. I think it just comes back to like, beginning to understand, okay, these are the shots I want to get and stuff. And like, you know, even with some of the, I mean, by no means high quality cameras I used in that or at any of the other camps where I took pictures as a counselor. Like, I mean, with my L4, I remember I got a picture we're doing a slip and slide. I got this beautiful picture. It's the kid is like slipping because they were like trying to run down it, and so slipping like one foot on the ground, the other foot up in the air, like arms back, just perfect, like just awesome picture. Or like okay, one of these pictures I just love. Let me quick. I actually have it set as a background. That's how. So let's okay, stop the screen. The endless. No, not that. This. This picture. I took this with my Canon PowerShot A1200. One of my favorite pictures. It took me forever to get this. I was up in Wisconsin at actually another camp and um, sat there. Um, I was sitting on a log out in the middle of the woods. I went off one of their paths and trails that they had out there. And I was sitting there on a log. All of a sudden, this chipmunk, it just popped up on the uh, on the other end of the log, and I was just like, "Oh my goodness, I want my camera right now!" But my camera was sitting in my backpack next to me, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, come on!" And, I was like, I wanted it out, and so I sat really still, and it came scurrying down the log, and got down on the ground, and then at one point had its two front feet like on top of my shoe. Like I was just like, hold still. And then it scurried into this hole, like right there by the log. And I was like, okay, get the camera out. And I sat there for almost 20 minutes waiting. And I just had the camera pose and it would poke its head out a little bit and then jump back, just not quite long enough to take that picture. And then finally it stuck its head out long enough, snapped the picture. And uh, yes, it was awesome. Uh, but I mean, it's like I was 3 feet away from it, and like I don't know. I feel like it's just like some of those pictures like that. It's like it comes back to that idea of like I don't know, like pushing yourself to maximize what you have, and just kind of proof when it comes to cameras that like you know you don't necessarily need the fanciest camera. You just need a camera that's gonna shoot a picture. I mean, you got that. I mean, to some degree, I mean, there's a point. Although, I mean, they were like, yeah, taking that same picture with a cell phone camera at the time, which would have been a feature phone. I mean, it wouldn't looked as nice. Uh, but I mean, my A1200, that was $100 camera. I mean, even the camera I have now, which is a Canon, not Canon, which is a Sony Alpha A58. Which is this, yeah, nice camera. Yeah, A58, Alpha A50. Like, it's not the newest camera on the block, nor is it the fanciest. I mean, and I mean, the crazy thing is, I found this deal. I like finding deals, because this is a $500 camera. But I found a deal. A guy who's selling it on Craigslist, eBay. The guy had it, used it like twice, and then decided he didn't want it, so he sold it. So I bought it. I got it, uh, the charger, cable, USB cable, an extra battery. So I got two batteries and a macro attachment that I can click on here. It kind of gives it more of a wide angle for close ups. And a nice case, a nice bag. Nice. Like, I mean, nice bag from Exit or something like that. But yeah, so I got all that with $500 camera for $330. I mean, I mean, the deals are out there to be had. Um, and a lot of it just comes down to how badly do you want to find that deal, and how patient can you be? I think that's the big thing is like if you get to needing to buy something and you know you have to have it right now, um, you're you're probably gonna end up paying more for stuff, especially if you have to have the latest version. If you're willing to go with a later version and possibly used or refurbished or willing to wait for sales, there's ways to get things, for very cheap, to get the newer technology. Um, and then you can also, and especially, when it comes to computers, older computers still have, there's plenty of uses for them, which I'm hoping we're going to get back to next week and kind of explore the many different options. And you can get. Um, but yeah, I just going to the camera thing. I mean, nature. Nature is so much fun. There's so many great pictures you can pull using nature. Um, Probably another favorite of mine is one where I was sitting in an airplane or flying, and the sun was kind of back and to our right, and I was sitting in front of the wing on the window seat, which is the best seat. And I turned and I took a picture back across the wing with the sun right behind it, and so it just blacked out the wing. That was just pretty. I mean, and that guy was with. I feel like that was with the A1200 too. Um, but yeah, the L15 got me through. I feel like the L15 got me through like 3 summers, and the L4 got me through 3 summers, and the A1200 got me through like 2 summers, and then I sold it accidentally. Yeah, I was like, I thought about it, upgrading, and so I was looking for that deal and wasn't finding it, so I decided to wait. Except when I was trying to find the deal, I was trying to sell my camera on Amazon, and so I had it listed in my Amazon store. Um, I thought I'd taken it down, and I guess I didn't. So one time I got an email, it's like, camera sold. And I was like, okay. And then this guy this Sony fell in my lap. And I was like, great. That was awesome. But it just kind of goes back to the point with, being able to wait patiently for that, that right deal. But I think we're about out of time. So I think we're going to shove the environment topic to another show. I think, which I don't know, I'm kind of glad because I want to give some more thought into that. And I think it'd be kind of interesting to do. And I think, I think I may actually turn it into an entire show. Actually, I might do that sometime in the next couple weeks. Wow, it's kind of crazy because, yeah, I think I might try. I think we might try to cover that 24th. But yeah, I think we're gonna call it a show. I hope you got something out of it tonight. Kind of me going on and on, rambling on. Just didn't have much time to plan the show. Last week, vacation just throws everything off kilter. Because I took off Thursday, after work on Thursday, and had Friday off. Saturday, Sunday, the weekend, I took Monday and Tuesday off, and so just trying to get back into the swing of it. But it was a good break. Out with the family. So I think that is going to be the end of the show. So yes, you got the smartwatch. Cheap, but I think well worth the money as long as you're not wanting all the fancy options. Cameras. Work on your skills of taking the picture and not relying on your camera. Don't use, I guess the way would be say, I guess they would say it is, don't use technology as a crutch. Use it as a way to push you above and beyond. Maximize what you got. Some of that, it's always got to start with the simple stuff and get good on that, and then worry about some of the more advanced features and figuring that out. I certainly now have a lot to mess around with on this guy and learn how to use some of its advanced features. And be willing to go with the refurbed, used, not the newest edition, and be patient when shopping. That's the show. So now we can start the post show. But yeah, hopefully Hopefully next week. Hoping next week I can get the sofas up and running. I should be able to get the sofas up and running. And I think I'm gonna try to get a guest on, talk about work environments and stuff. And that'll be a couple weeks to kind of let that marinate around in my brain and put together some thoughts. Plus, I got an idea for the host guest to come on, and we actually had a little bit of a discussion about this, and I'm kind of hoping to get him on, and we kind of, you know, regurgitate that discussion. I think that'll be good. So hopefully in 2 weeks, and then we're into May. It's like, oh my goodness, we're into May, and that'll be shows 15, 16. End of May. I need to plan something for end of May. Show number 20. I don't know. I've got a couple people. Well, at least one who I want to try to get on after that beginning, after May 10th, because I think his life will slow down a little bit. I'm hoping to get him on because he is a wealth of knowledge, very much knows knows more about technology than I do, and getting those people on the show, I think will help get you guys some great content as we look at that. I find it crazy, like, I think it's like 3 times now where I've thought about this. I was like getting down to the wire, and it's like, what am I going to talk about? Kind of a thing. Cause yeah. Every time it's like all of a sudden, right before the show, boom, a show idea comes out. I mean, this week was, I mean, I just opened up my note about with the show topics in it and was like, oh, I put that in there. And notice I saw, oh, smartwatches. And then watching uh, the I was watching the promo video, Cammy Timberlake for this summer, and so kind of brought by the whole thing about cameras and stuff, and so kind of went from there. Yeah, it just happens. But life rolls on, ever onward. Doesn't like to stop. Well, I think it's about time to close up shop. So, another week in the books. Until next week, live for Christ. That's what I'm gonna leave you with. What would Jesus do? It's been a lot of what I've been thinking about recently. Hopefully, might I hope I'll end up on a show on uh, another show that hopefully will start up here soon. Who knows? So yeah,